When I prepare my survival equipment for the bush, a concept I've come back to again and again, just for pure convenience, is the neck knife. My neck knife is set up as a personal survival kit. Whenever I carry a knife in the bush, I always like to include survival supplies with it, which will help me solve some of my major problems if I encounter trouble. Whenever I think of survival equipment for the bush, I always think in terms of shelter, fire, and water first. If I can solve one of those problems in the bush with the gear that I brought with me, that helps me out immensely. If I can solve 2 of them or 3 of them just with the things I have with me, I really don't have a problem. I'm just camping, and that's the idea of wilderness survival, is to get yourself into a situation where you're just camping. My neck knife is a very small kit. It's a very thin kit. It hides very well underneath the shirt. It carries very conveniently and very comfortably. I have it adjustable with a double loop paracord on the top, so I can adjust the height for comfort to keep it under my clothes. Normally I would wear this underneath a tucked in shirt. That way nothing will snag it or grab a hold of the cord, and I can't lose my knife that way. Now, the knife itself is a Newt Livesay NRGS. It's a very simple knife. It's a very straightforward knife, just a drop point hunter. It has a decent point, which is one thing which my axe or machete doesn't have. It has a nice point on the tip, which I can use for drilling holes, making trap parts, whatever. It's a very strong knife. If you're going to use a necker as a survival knife, make sure, number one, that it looks like a knife, not just a sharp object, and that you have a decent handle and enough blade to actually do yourself some good. One feature of the kit which I have found immensely useful in the bush is to put an LED light here at the bottom of the rubber which holds the survival supplies. That way when the knife is around my neck and I'm in camp, all I have to do at night is take it out and I can shine light on whatever I'm doing, setting up camp. It's just a really convenient thing when you have to get up in the middle of the night and take a leak, that you can find your way in the dark. That's just the perfect place to keep a light. Normally I use an Innova LED. This is a Photon microlight. I don't like the microlight in this roll because the LED is exposed at the bottom and I'm afraid it might get shattered. I put this one on there mainly so you can see it and know what I'm talking about. Now, there's no resources on this kit that will really help me with shelter other than about 1.5 meters of paracord that on the top of it. In the bush, your first line of shelter is always your clothing, and in order to repair clothing, I have a supply of number 4 wax polyester line, and on the back here, if you can see that down there, there's a heavy gauge needle which fits that line very well. The heavy gauge polyester line is also good for traps and snares, or a fishing line, repairing packs. I've used this stuff for everything, every time I have to repair something in the bush. I've never been in the bush for any length of time without ripping my clothes at some point. Primary concerns in the bush is how to make a fire and how to get drinkable water, and the kit resolves those problems for me. For fire making, in the top of the kit, I have a BSA Hotspark and 2 tubes of cotton which has been treated with Vaseline. There's also 2 birthday candles here. The Hotspark is enough, and with the cotton, there's a piece of cotton which I tore off there earlier, and the Hotspark and the cotton very quickly make fire, and that is just a great resource to have around, that I know that if I'm in the bush and I don't have any other way to make fire, that my kit will do that for me. The other problem I like the kit to solve is water, and on the back I've got 2 10-ounce breast milk bags that are very sturdy bags. I have used these filled with water and dropped them before, and they don't burst unless you really drop them hard. 20 ounces of water is not enough to survive a day, but it is enough to get a good drink of water, and in order to treat that water, in the bottom of the kit I have a small foil flat down there of potassium permanganate, which is not the best thing in the world to treat your water with, but it's so extremely compact that I always include it in these types of kits. The options I have on the kit for signaling would include the light at the base. It would include making fire or smoke. There's also a signal mirror in the back, which is just a simple plastic mirror which I've cut to shape, and on the back of it I have a reflector which I've stuck to it, so that will work in day or night. So the kit gives me several options for signaling. Navigation, I use a button compass, which is also stored underneath the rubber here in the bottom. Now, a button compass is not the best thing in the world for navigation. However, it is better than just nothing. Everything in this kit is redundant to gear which I'm already carrying on my body. I normally use a Recta DP2 compass, and I have another compass in my PSK. And this is actually a number 3 backup compass. It's just a 20 millimeter small button compass, and they will give you a good sense of direction. They're very difficult to navigate with in practice. One advantage to using a neck knife in this role is that once you drop it down inside your shirt, it disappears, and it's very hard to see that there's a knife there at all. When I'm going to wear a t-shirt, what I like to do is camouflage the neck knife. I'll take a jet scream whistle and put it on top of the cord. That way when the knife is hanging underneath my shirt, the whistle prints and not the knife, and it actually lifts the shirt away from the knife, so no one will see the outline of the knife. All they see is the outline of a whistle, and as soon as somebody sees the whistle underneath your shirt, their mind can then safely turn off. They realize you have a whistle under your shirt, and that's no problem for the sheeple. The whistle also is in a position that it can be readily used, that it's just hanging around your neck. You can grab a hold of it and get it right to your mouth if you need to use it. This is a convenient kit to carry in the bush. You can do this with a lot of different knives. What made the NRGS a prime candidate for this is that it has straight walls on the sides of the sheath. It gives me plenty of room there to put survival supplies. I love this knife. I have used this kit all over the world, and it has always done me well.